Oh, wait. Got my audio a little bit messed up there. Bear with me 2 seconds. And I'm listening to myself. Let's mute myself, shall we? Right, okay, so greetings everyone, and welcome to my first attempt of podcast. I thought I'd give this a go. I think there's so much going on when you're trying to do videos and you're trying to talk and you're trying to play whilst discussing all these new ships or potential new ships and so on and so forth. It can be a little bit much, so I thought with so many changes coming to the game, like with this fine mile move into tier 7, when, I don't know, tier 8's being announced, this new update being quite big with a lot of buffs, SAP being introduced and stuff, that maybe it was time to slow down, and instead of trying to, let me move my mic in a little bit closer, instead of trying to do this whilst playing games, what I have actually done on my Discord channel, which there is a link to, it is the pinned comment on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, I'm sorry, I've not looked into Twitch in months. But if I see more than a handful of people in Twitch, I'll post the link over there. There is actually on my Discord, it's there's a channel that you can join straight away called Hives Podcast. Right down the bottom, you can actually enter that. You can put your hand up if you want to actually join in, and I'm quite happy to sit here and not just talk at you guys, which I feel like I do far too much, but actually talk with you and get your thoughts. Yeah, the Discord is working, but I don't need to do hives. Fair enough, Doug. But if you actually want to come in and chat to me and chat with everyone else and give us your thoughts and opinions and all this stuff going on, like, you all have that option. I've never done a podcast before. It's not something I've really sort of considered. I've been in a podcast. I've done one with the Back to Port guys, as you're probably aware of. I've done two actually. I was interviewed by them, and then I done the interviewing, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. But hello, hacker, says Johnny. Hi there. But yeah, so, well, like I said, here we are. So, we all know tier 8 are coming. And, oh, what's this? Tier 8 Part 2 has just been released by Wargaming. Right, okay. Can we expand this full? Bear with me 2 seconds. I'm going to need to make some minor adjustments to the screen, because I'm guessing we want this on full screen. 100% didn't know that they were going to drop this the second part of the teaser. 100%. This is oh. They're giving us a lot more detail this time, and a lot less blurriness. Right, so that is part 2. This is part 2 of the. I'll play it in the background again. This is part 2 of the teaser trailer. So this is very much like the first one, and then they're like, hang on a second. Here's a significantly larger amount of detail. So, well, you can see here that's Frederick de Grob. I think we pretty much universally agreed that was coming. Not not entirely sure what DD that is. Is that? That's Russian, isn't it? Yeah, that's the Denny, the Denli, or however you pronounce it. That is. Let's have a look, shall we? Hive, don't you start hacking again? No. Man, do you not want to know? So Spartacus says that I played Azuma today, took down a Yamato and won the match. Honest to God, the buffs to the Azuma have. I didn't mind the Azuma. I thought it was a decent ship, but I felt like it really lacked that like punch-in power, particularly with the armor piercing. But yeah, like honest to God, like I played that ship a couple of times yesterday, and like it's much better. It's actually really strong. The armor piercing is really good, and it felt like that's what the ship was lacking, which is incredibly nice to see happen. Right, bear with me. Let me. Bear with me. I am just bringing up a. Right. Okay. So pay attention. Right. You can see how the conning tower and stuff is there. Yeah. Tell me that's not that ship with a straight face. Since tier 8 is the next update, I'm going to spend this update doing nothing but credit grinding. Yes, I used the arena to grind quite a lot of credits. I earned like 50 million last week. It was ridiculous. I don't like the way everyone can buy these campaign ships in store now. Because I got the ship from like the OG days. What campaign ships have they put in the store? Have I missed something? I might have missed something. Do you think there will be a tournament before this game? As I feel it could do well anyway. It's been a while. Do I think? Well, we're getting clans and we're getting clan battles. So you know, they're coming. It's just when and in all fairness, I think for like 90% of the player base, clans and clan battles aren't going to make a shit bit of difference. But there is going to be that top 10% of people are going to be like, yeah, like this is what we want. For global XP, I mean, sorry, like the Massachusetts. Oh, right. So, like, part of me feels like there should be, maybe not all, but at least some campaign ships. Like, not all, but like a handful that are just campaign ships, you know, because, you know, if you I don't know, you know, there's the fact that, like, particularly with, like, hard campaigns, like annoys the crap out of me that the Atlanta is actually, you know, available for GXP, because that was by far the hardest campaign they ever did. It was ridiculous. Anyone who got the original Atlanta will know that that was an insanely tough campaign to actually do. And then, you know, it was a badge of honor because a lot of people tried and absolutely failed miserably in getting it. So, but, you know, then again, like, is it fair on new players that we've got a bunch of ships that they just cannot access? You know, it's a bit of a is it a double-edged sword? It's like, as much as it would be nice to have things for you know, early adopters of the game. Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the guy to have to make that decision. I think, yes, it's nice, but in another way, you know, you're kind of shitting on new players, and we need new players. We need new people playing the game. We need new people joining, because that's how the game lasts for years, as opposed to Like, do you know what I mean? Like Call of Duty, they play it for a year and they jump onto the next one. Then that's it. Nobody cares about Call of Duty anymore. Nobody cares about Black Ops 2, you know, because Modern Warfare 3, whatever one it was that came out after Black Ops 2, and you know, they just sort of move on and die. But no, this is a game that's, you know, for the long haul, and the only way it's going to survive, because you're always going to get people who leave, but we need to get those new people in, and we need them to enjoy it, and we need them to not be pissed off that like kids are willing to grind. Good. Can't wait till mine grow up and they can grind my account for me. So I hope they never bring the Jean Bar back, because that ship is straight up overpowered. So yeah, anyway, so this is the Denley. Like, look at that. Like, that is 100% the ship we can see on the screen. Alright, okay, could it be the Zorki? Nah, definitely not the Zorki. Zorkav, I don't know, I have no idea how to pronounce it. Someone in chat did say DDR10. I don't know, that looks a bit small to me. See, like, look at the sort of the shape of the conning tower for the Denley, and then if we go back to DDR10, I don't know, is it any different? Getting me, well, actually, yeah, they pretty much look exactly the same. But yeah, like, look at that. That is 100%. It's either Denley or DDR10, which are both tier 10s anyway. 5 weeks of seeing full grinding. Houdini, how do you, boy? How you doing there? So yeah, like I said, I don't know if anyone, like, I know the chat, the amount of people in here has been filling up really quickly. So the pinned comment is my Discord channel. So if you actually want to join in and actually like sit here, talk to me, talk to everyone else, there is that option. Join the Discord. Right down the bottom in voice channels, there's a section called Hives Podcast. You can go in there, you can put your hand up. I'm not paying attention to it right now, so you'll have to tell me in like YouTube chat that you want to talk, and I'll hop on into there, and we can get, you know, instead of just me talking, all of us talking. Morning, Kid Kazi when? Well, I don't know. We'll have a little nosy now. So we've been through this. This is 100% the Buffalo. Like, I don't even think it's worth discussing that whether this is the Buffalo or not. When the tier 8 drop, says Clayton tier 8 are going to be dropping next update. So we're 5 weeks away from having tier 8. We've been told 4 nations are coming at a time. So we're going to see 4 nations get new ships, and from what we can tell, I'm assuming they're going to get a battleship, a destroyer, and a cruiser. All of them are. So it's going to be a lot of ships. So you're going to need a lot of credits, ladies and gentlemen. You really are. I've been quietly okay with most of the updates. Really, and nothing has really bothered me much. But the one thing I did really kind of piss me off a bit was how soon they're releasing the Yolang and the Friesland as free GXP ships. Yeah, like I get it. Like, we had to work hard for them, but it's part of monetization, really. It's like, because yes, okay, you can grind a lot of global XP for free. I've grinded a lot of global XP and used a lot of global XP without spending any money on it. But you know, people who missed out on the ships are like, oh, those ships are really good. Like, is it fair we don't give them access to it? I think maybe they should not be so frequent with releasing them. Like, each campaign ship should have a GXP ship available, maybe. So I bought the second ship for 1,750 after I finished, and I had to wait a few months. You could have got it free. That's frustrating. So what happens to legendary? Right, okay, so basically, there's essentially just a reshuffle at the top. So what's going to happen initially, probably for the first update or two, until tier 8 starts to get really populated, is when you go tier 7, tier 8, or legendary, those three will all fight. So 7 will still be able to see a legendary ship for a while, at least. But so basically tier 7's just sliding in between 8 is sliding in between 7 and legendary. So it's an entirely new tier, and it's predominantly going to be the tier 9 ships from World of Warships PC. So legendary still going to exist. Legendary still going to be legendary, which is the predominantly tier 10 ships from PC. It's just we're getting that balance, because the difference between a tier 7 ship and a legendary ship is quite vast, I think, and there is a bit of an imbalance there. It's like, I'll take any tier 6 ship up against any tier 7, and like fairly confident that I can either win or do a hell of a lot of damage to them. But a tier 7 against most legendaries, like most legendary ships should be able to wreck every single tier 7 with relative ease. Next update will be a choice between 2 legendary carriers. I think legendary carriers they're gonna be a thing. It kind of makes sense. The PC has them. They have the tier 10 carriers. We have carriers basically in every group of ships you can play. So obviously a tier 3 carrier can see tier 2 and tier 4. A tier 5 carrier can see 4, 5 and 6. A tier 7 carrier will be able to see tier 6 and tier 8. But they're going to be split. So eventually, that's what I was trying to say, and I lost my trail of thought. So initially, when tier 8 starts, tier 7, 8, and legendary will all fight together. But once tier 8 gets populated, it'll go back to the regular split. So 7s will see 6s and or 8s. But they'll never see legendary again, and it'll only be legendary and tier 8 ships fighting with each other, from what I can tell. A podcast, yes it is, Blake. And if you fancy joining in and having a chat with us all, feel free. It's on my Discord. If you pay 50 quid for something that costs $7.50, then that's on you, my friend. That's true. Like I've never bought out a campaign, I don't think, ever. But that's the thing. It's entirely optional. Nobody force. Podcasts. Wait, I didn't write podcasts, did I? If I did, I'm gonna punch myself in the face. No, I wrote podcast. Why are people picking on me? Why are you bullying me in chat? Fighter, hey Hive, you handsome devil. Thank you very much. As I said on Discord, SAP needs fixing on the saturation. Yeah, well, these are just one of the things that we're here to talk about. I think this is probably my fault, and this is a lesson learned, that I need a Structix, because we'll get on to SAP in a minute. We're currently looking through the new teaser, which I'm going to start again. So this was like part of the old teaser, and then all of a sudden significantly clearer. Frederick Grob there, without a shadow of a doubt. See, I don't know what DD this is. Like, if anyone's got any idea of what this DD is, like, this is the Denley. Like, we've established that. This is the Denley. Although someone had a really good guess with the DR10. Is it DR10? Is that what it's called? I did see it there in chat. DDR10. Why it's not the DDR10 is because we know it's got a big single caliber anti-aircraft gun, to be honest with you. That's Buffalo. I'm not even gonna discuss that. We know that's Buffalo. What's this beer? Right, this is the rune. This is the rune because of the square turrets, I think. The rune dev striking killing the buffalo. There's that. The poor buffalo getting wrecked. Okay, what the hell is this? So there's a triple turret, two dual turrets which look like secondaries. Are they the same caliber? They must be. That must be a triple turret. We just can't see it properly. That is the Dmitry Donskovoy. Let's get the other page up. Yeah, that is definitely the Dmitry Donskovoy. Where is he? It's got these really pronounced turrets. The dual turret behind it, like the superstructure. Definitely the Dmitry Donskovoy there. I didn't mean to turn that page off. I just meant to minimize it. Can't wait for the Izumor and Savetsky Soyuz. I'm sure you can't. Yeah. It was pretty obvious what that was. If anyone wants to argue that that is not the Ibuki, I don't really know. The Ibuki, Izumor. Wow. Yeah. A Japanese Nelson. This will be interesting. It surely will. It surely will. Yeah, that's the Izumor right there. Right. Tell me that I need to... So this is the American BB, right? And of course, I got rid of the page that I wanted. And ships of the US, bunk. So that's the Iowa. Hive, stay with us. Don't look into the light. Oh wow! Oh, don't tell me the stream looks like it was playing up a little bit there. My God, my screen is so bright. Right, so like this is the Iowa class of battleship, right? Tier 8 BB has to be Illinois. It looks like an Iowa. It does. It 100% looks like an Iowa. So what other Iowa class ships are they? Well, the Missouri. We've got the Missouri. The Iowa. It's not the Minnesota. It's definitely not a Montana because the Montana's way too freaking long. It's not a Georgia because the turrets are wrong, and we've already got the Georgia. So it's gonna be an Iowa class, right? So, and if we Google the Iowa class battleship, Iowa is tier 9 anyway. So the Iowa class come in as the tier 9 kind of makes sense, but they can't use the Iowa because they kind of screwed that up, right? By moving it down a tier because of course Americans want to play the Iowa, which I get. makes sense. Vermont, definitely not the Vermont, and I'll show you exactly why it's not the Vermont. Right, okay, so the video up, right, so look at this, look at the, it's thin. Yeah, it's a thin ship. I'm looking at Vermont, yeah. This is thick. This looks like a Kansas, not like an Iowa. And with the Iowa, of course, there's the Iowa, this is the New Jersey, there's the Missouri, the Wisconsin, Illinois, Kentucky. There is a Maine, or was the Maine not completed? I remember hearing about the Maine as well. So they can literally put any of these names on, give it a buff, and it'll fit right in at tier 9, where the Iowa should have always been, in all fairness. Buffed Iowa could easily be tier 10. Tier 10. Well, yeah, it could on PC, but they put it down to tier 7, so they can't use Iowa. But there is no other class of ship that could fill that silhouette, shall we say. So fighter says either Illinois, Kentucky, or Maine. Yeah, because I think the Maine was laid down, wasn't it? But it was never finished. Illinois and Kentucky weren't completed either. So you could easily, like, if you wanted to put 18-inch guns on it, you could. Because they never actually existed in the completed form. You know, if you wanted to give them more armor, you could essentially do anything you want with them, implement them in the game, that'll be fine. It's definitely not a hybrid ship. I think we're safe there. Needed any more evidence that the Isomor was coming. We'll have to, all of warships, battleships. I'm sure that's the Isomor. It could be the Svesky Soyuz, actually, as far as I'm aware. I'm pretty sure. Where is Isomor? Yeah, look at all that deck behind the turret before the classic giant conning tower. Yeah, it's the Isomor. Like, what else? What else could it be? Hive hacking again, 100% hacking all the time. Every day we're hacking.
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
What the hell was that?
I'm just metal detecting.
You can't do that here. What are you looking for?
Facebook just started automatically playing this video in the background. Like, oh right, yeah, it's just like the next one's in that list of stuff. So, yeah, I'll thank Wargaming. Like the fact that they've released that has just sort of confirmed what we already thought, I guess. Let me just have a quick check on the Discord. No, nobody's come in to say hello. So yeah, I'm just metal detecting. Yeah, no. Right, where are we in chat? Ibuki is 203, same as the Megami, and similar torps, but I think it has better armor and AA on PC. Quite possibly, we can 100% have a look. No, it's not that screen, it's that screen. That's not cruisers we want. Let's open this in a new tab. And open Mogami in a new tab. We can compare them. Side by right, okay, yeah. So on PC you get the options between the 155mm, which is the Suzuya, and the 203s, which we get as the Mogami. Does it tell us about armor? 6 to 140. Does it mention AA? Main battery, secondary armament, torpedo tubes, AA defense is down here. And the Ibuki is quite a different machine, I believe. So yeah, it's still got the 203s, but fire rate 4.4 seconds. Yeah, Mogami's what, like, shots per minute 4. So that right, so it fires slower than Mogami on PC at least. Just shots per minute. I was like, what? That's insane. 6 to 140. Armor doesn't appear to be any thicker. It might be slightly better laid out. So developed from the Mogami class, retains powerful artillery and torpedo armor of a procedure, but received advanced armor and reinforced AA. So basically, yeah, it's just going to be a Mogami with that can take a hit and has better AA. You should be automatically playing my videos. Why the hell would I do that? Mr. Hive, I thought you were chatting to a strange woman. I'm always chatting to strange ladies. Well, a strange lady, my wife, she's fucking nuts. Maybe it's dried up at Lake Mead. They keep people. What tier rate would you like to see the most, Mr. Hive? Honestly, like purple. If you're gonna ask stupid questions, you're gonna get stupid answers. No, HMS Neptune. Neptune is like, I love the British light cruisers. Neptune on PC was quite possibly my favourite ship. It's the one I really enjoyed playing. I enjoyed playing it more than anything else. I enjoy it more than the Minotaur, in all fairness. And we're definitely not getting that this update by the looks of it, which does make me incredibly sad. But 100%. No, I'm excited for a lot of the ships, but like Neptune's the one I want. If I could call up Wargaming and just go, and the Wargaming phone me up, go, oh hi, we're looking to please you for a change. What ship can we give you? Be like, yeah, Neptune. Give it to me. Give it to me now. Tier 8 party bus would be hilarious. But how would you nerf the party bus so it could fit in tier 8? Anyone who doesn't know what the party bus is, we're referring to the Hotnik. the tier 4 DD that could. Honestly, like, you could put that ship in any tier. Just because of the way it plays, it would be absolutely fine. Like, I genuinely think like you could. You want the Shikishima, right? Okay, so for anyone who let's have a look at the Shikishima, shall we? Where is the Shikishima? Wait, no, is that what? Yeah. This is what Monk wants as a tier 8. 510 millimeters. Oh, 6 of them as a tier 8. Talk about balance. What? Okay, so just in case you're not 100% sure, Yamato, as a legendary. Oh, right, fair. Well, it would be bigger than a legendary. It's like 460s on the Yamato. So yeah, Shikishima. Big World of Warships Legends, never, please. Unless they give us like a tier L2. And then maybe you could start putting in, Shikishima and what other ridiculous ships are there in World of Warships? There's a couple of them in here that are like super ships. Thunderer would probably be a super ship. IGN Tone. Tone is a cruiser, right? I gotta find this here. Is the Tone a cruiser? The Hanover and the Satsuma. Above tier L would be XL, obviously. Ashika has 3 less guns than the Yamato and it's less accurate. Yamato is arguably stronger anyway. But still. What's the Russian cruiser that people on PC twisted about all the time because it was super broken? Moskva, isn't it? Not Moskva? No, the Smolensk. This little bad boy is the one people freaking absolutely hate, and I kind of hope we absolutely never see. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Like how much damage this thing can pump out and how quickly. No, it's not the Petropavlovsk. I think is actually like it's the heavy cruiser, isn't it? 220s, 4.3 shots per minute, which is what a 12-15 second reload somewhere around there. Might be 15. But yeah, so let's see this. So you have. Look at these. They're 130 millimeters. What? But there's 4 in each freaking turret. So it's like, imagine a Minotaur that could fire HE and then on like steroids, the firm dollop of Russian bias slapped on top. Yeah, that's the Smolensk. Next update teaser video will be these videos undisclosed, possibly, probably, maybe. I'm gonna have a quick check on. So have Wargaming given us anything? Well, I've got a higher quality version of the video, but there's no point in watching that. I would love Slava from PC, super accurate Russian BB. Yeah, so I don't know what ships do people. Well, actually, I don't know. I think we've covered tier 8. Like, do we need to talk about tier 8 anymore? It was nice to see the video. Nice to sort of confirm a couple of the things that we already sort of thought would come in. Nice that I called it on the last time. You can go back and watch, and I was like, nah, that battleship for the Americans, that's an Iowa class. So I called it on the first teaser. It was nice to sort of confirm that. The guns can't be broken, by the way. They're literally unbreakable on the Smolensk. Yeah, that's just good stupid. Yes, Smolensk is super busted, absolutely busted. Why? So, I think, yeah, I don't know. Why has anyone else got anything to say about tier 8? And is anyone in the audience of my chat, so Mr. Burnsitch and Jazz Rally, do any of you want to come in and like talk? Like, no pressure or anything. You can happily sit there and listen. There's a little like hand button that you can press as well. So it's like put your hand up. It's like, hello, I want to speak. But if you don't, that's completely fine. What are your thoughts on the tier 7s being moved to tier 8? Like honestly, there's definitely some ships that could move. Like Jean Bart could go up to tier 8. Iowa could go up to tier 8. Fletcher could go up to tier 8. They could put the Azuma up where it's supposed to be if they buff the reload again. But what are you going to do when you move those ships? Like, particularly tech tree ones. So ignore the Jean Bart and Azuma. Like, you move the IO up. So people that have got the IO, actually take it off them. You know, do you make them grind whatever replaces it at tier 7 and then make them regain the tier 8? If you want to pop in, Mr. Monk, you are more than welcome. It's kind of the whole point of this, and this is my first attempt at a podcast. I did actually have some funky music to play in the background that I completely forgot about. Because I can do that. We turn the volume down a bit so it's not overpowering. Let me know if it's annoying or anything. I'll turn it off. Yadachi, yeah, Summers, Georgia, Ochikov, Wichita. So Ochikov is a premium, so it doesn't matter. Wichita, they could move. In all fairness, they're all premiums. They could move them. But Summers wasn't the Summers a campaign ship? Were they all campaign ships? Do tier 8s get extra mods? We don't know. I'd assume. Well, Legendary don't get any extra mods over tier 7, do they? So I would 100% expect that that not to change in any way, shape, or form. I think you're just going to get the 4 mod slots like every other tier 7 and Legendary ship do. Yeah, they'd have to buff the Legendary tier. But giving the Legendary tier an extra mod slot now would just mean like tier 7s would just get the shit kicked out of them even more. Which is no good for tier 7s. Like, it's really not. It's a horrible thing for them to be in. Hey, Mopar, welcome. Mopar, oh my god. What? That's, Mopar is that a reference to... No, it's not Chevrolet, is it? Anyway, I'll get myself completely distracted. But the tier 8 would have to be established, and maybe then they could give them extra mod slots. But Dodge, that's the one. See, I knew, kind of knew, I was there somewhere. Apologies for getting that mixed up. I'll have to take myself outside and give myself a stern talking to. Mr. Monk, you joining us? Oh, he's got his hand up. He's got his hand up. Show requests. Mr. Monk. Let's invite Mr. Monk to speak, shall we? And there he is. He should be with us.
How you doing, buddy?
Ah, you again. Following me around. You're like...
I just think this is like the tier 8 is a golden opportunity to fix a lot of the balancing issues they've had in the past with tier 7. You know?
In all fairness...
It really is.
I'm not in disagreement with you. Like, my thing is moving tech tree ships. I think no tech tree ships could be moved because
I don't think I think it would be tough for that. Yeah, because they've got the whole line and the people have grinded the line for it, and it's going to cause problems. You know, even if they wanted to move the boats you said, like the Iowa or the Fletcher, it's going to be too bothersome and difficult to get it all set up for the sake of balance. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, the ships you mentioned, like the Jean Bart, Yadachi, Summers, Georgia. I don't know about the Ochikov. I don't think the Ochikov is that strong.
The only reason I think the Ochikov should be moved is because it has that Smolensk hull, and it is incredibly fast and agile, and it's just a murder to deal with, especially at close range as well.
Take out a Kleber, right? Find an Ochikov and hit it with AP and see what happens to it. I've dev struck Ochikovs with the Kleber using the reload booster. It's really easy for light cruisers to deal with. So, like, everyone knows I love the Edinburgh, so I'm going to big it up again. Big up to the Edinburgh. The Edinburgh absolutely ruins Ochikovs. especially if you've got good concealment and you can get to like 10 kilometers away from it.
Orchikov actually hard counters Edinburgh because it has a special 30mm pen with the HE. So you can just HE Edinburgh to death with the Orca draw.
You get close enough with the Edinburgh first that, like...
the Edinburgh gets close, it'll win, yeah, but at range you'll lose out.
Yeah, but
you'll lose to an Edinburgh.
You don't fight at range, because fighting at a range would be stupid.
Yeah, but the Orca is faster, it can just get away from you.
But only once you've been detected. It's how can I explain it with? Because
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so I use concealment, and I get it. I get the Edinburgh up close to an Ochikov, and the Edinburgh will always win up close. Hey Hive, I didn't know you got a podcast. This is my first one. Good name for it though, Davy Jones's Shipyard with the Hive Hound. Well, give me a fucking pen and paper. Pen and paper, someone? Alright. I shit you not, I've literally just picked up a pen because I'm writing that down.
What is he calling it? Oh god.
Davy Jones's Shipyard with the Hive Hound. That's fucking brilliant. The Davy Jones Shipyard.
Well, my original plan was the Legends Lighthouse to have a podcast, but it never worked out. I just kind of fell short, ended up. But yeah, no, a lot of tier 7s can compete perfectly fine against legendary boats, and a lot of tier 7s struggle at the same time.
Yeah.
So having some of those tier 7s that can comfortably compete with legendary being moved up, and other tier 7s that are struggling having the benefit of getting that tier gap would be really nice. Like, a Maggie is 100% a tier 8, a tier 7, sorry. Because it kind of gets absolutely destroyed by Yamato. Bismarck, 100% a tier 7.
Yeah, Bismarck
those
should be.
Boats kind of struggle.
I think the Iowa could sit quite comfortably at tier 8 and not be a problem.
It could.
But I agree with them not being moved. Like I said, the Ochikov is probably the only one that you mentioned that I would disagree with getting moved. Because
another reason I picked the Ochikov is 2 cruisers, 2 battleships, and 2 destroyers. 2 battleships, the Georgia and the Jean Bart. Georgia's got special mechanics, the 30mm overmatch, which matters a lot, more than people think. The 30mm overmatch.
Amarty's perfectly fine at tier 7. You just have to angle it properly. Yeah, well...
Okay, buddy. I'm just saying, at range, the 30mm deck pens the Yamato. Good luck angling, buddy. You can try it. I've done it before. I can assure you. It's only if they hit the armoured belt in the back of the boat, but if they're heading for range, it pens the 30mm deck, which is completely overmatchable. The entire Maggie armour is overmatchable.
Bad things to Azuma, so she can fight Alaska. That would be... Like, if they buffed to put the Azuma up, they'd have to buff its reload a little bit more.
But they would. They'd have to make it the same level as Alaska. Yeah.
It would 100% be capable. Why are we talking about moving 7 to 8 in the first place? Because Monk brought it up. That's why. It's not my fault.
I thought it was a good idea. Yeah. Because this is a golden opportunity to fix a lot of the balancing problems. But hey, there we go.
Agent Jazz has got an amazing call. And this is true. I am content to just play and see what happens. And not be concerned with what comes our way. Nothing beats the Omaha, so I've nothing to be scared of that comes my way anyway. Omaha's king of tier 4. Hey Hive, listening at work. Chat, hope you're well. Thank you very much, Mr. Flint. Getting too lazy to even play while you talk now, are you Hive? 100%. Too old for this playing and talking malarkey.
Yeah. He's too focused, that's why.
They need to move the Iowa and Georgia up to tier 8. Well, they're putting an Iowa class in at tier 8.
Don't worry as well. Think about what are they going to do for the buffs to justify it being tier 8, Because if it's an Iowa class, it's going to be similar to the Iowa, yeah?
Yeah.
So what are the buffs they're going to do? Is it going to be basically a legendary? or is it going to be a proper? I just slight a buff over tier 7. But if you buff the Iowa over tier 7, it really could be just legendary as well. So it's going to be difficult deciding what you want for the buffs and like what the balancing for tier 8 is going to be very tricky. You know.
Well, there's
very
three. There's three, one unbuilt and two incomplete Iowas that they could essentially do whatever the hell they like to, which is the Maine, the Kentucky, and the Illinois. So those three,
I'm just trying to think.
they can, like, if they want to put slightly bigger guns, if they want to give it slightly better armor, if they want to make it faster, they can. And I think, whoa, the national anthem. We got the United States national anthem playing in the background. Here we go, America. Fuck yeah.
No, but I'm trying to think here the balancing as well, because they got to make something that's slightly stronger than tier 7s, but not strong enough to beat legendary. You know, so it's going to be a weird one. Because that line's been pretty much crossed at one point. I'm pretty sure there were some tier 7s that are better legendary ones. You know.
Yeah. Mike is saying if they want to buff the Iowa, they'd need to buff the Montana. Well, the Montana's got a fucking monstrous broadside. If you catch people right, I don't think the Montana's a great legendary ship. It's situational. You catch. Its accuracy is really good. Its broadside power is fucking ridiculous.
It's the best broadside power in the game. It used to be the GK, the Ghost of Curfirst, had the best broadside, but now the Montana's taken over because American EP has ridiculous alpha.
But like a Yamato can just fucking sail straight at you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you've got to be a bit smarter and a bit more situational with the Montana. You can't just. Yeah,
but the Montana's got that pen though, like that Citadel. Yamato's basically nearly bow on in Montana because reasons, you know. There's no reason behind it. It just does it.
That would have to be maybe plunging fire where you went like quite a range.
If he's presenting a slight angle, even a slight angle, that was a hull hit. I remember, like, oh man, not even like the cheek. It just I don't know how it does it, man. Montana just whatever you fire at, you get a decent chunk of salvo. Even just the front gun.
Sometimes you can get crazy lucky and you can bounce a shell off the turret and it goes straight down into the Citadel.
Yeah.
And although we don't physically see that, like if you send weird shots like that to Wargaming, they'll actually like look at the data and go, oh yeah, you fucking ricocheted off the conning tower somehow, and then it bounced down and went into the magazine and detonated the Yadachi. Like,
I've seen the worst state of RNGs happen to me as I was in a Lenin, bow on, and I mean bow on. I don't like to go. I like to angle as much as I can, but for Lenin I was bow on, and I got shot at close range by a Georgia, and got double citadeled.
Can the Georgia overmatch the Lenin?
You can't overmatch the Icebreaker, but I don't know how it did it. But he double citadeled me. And the reason I know, because you saw the Citadel numbers, 11 or whatever it is, 15, whatever it is. I forget the number, it was a while ago. But that's one thing I remember. That's the worst case of RNG I've had. Also, yesterday as well. A torpedo took out my rudder, and because my rudder was broken, it made me sail into another set of torpedoes.
So, the looking good, I think he's kind of white here. He's saying the Yamato is the no-skill BB. Just point and shoot, minimum of 20k damage. Well, unless you miss, but yeah, pretty much. I don't enjoy playing the Yamato. I think it's just keep everything at range, and that like you pretty much gonna win every fight. You mix it up with a Jean Bart, and the Jean Bart's gonna fucking wreck you. it's weird.
The thing of it is kind of scary. The Jean Bart on paper should lose to Yamato, but it kind of doesn't.
Wing Mars going to tier 7. Main should go to tier 8. What do you think about that, Monk?
The problem is, I don't know. The mains and the Weimar are individual tiers. They've got different tiers for a reason. Like the Weimar and the mains are very similar ships, and if you're making them tier 7, then it's going to cause problems. You're making them both tier 7. They kind of got an identity crisis.
I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why, good sir. So
Well, they are.
as much as they're both fantastic HE spammers, Mains has the additional armor. Mains has enough armor that it can make a nuisance for itself in tier 7. It
also has
hasn't got
improved
enough.
routine.
It hasn't got enough to make a nuisance of itself in legendary.
Yeah.
So whereas with the Weimar, you have to stay back. You have to like keep range and keep concealment. In the mains, you've got options. You can push in the mains that you definitely cannot do in the Weimar. And also the shell velocity and the trajectories are completely different.
Yes.
Weimar lends itself much more to firing from cover, whereas the mains, big islands, you can't shoot over them.
Yeah, because the German shell arcs.
So-
And the thing about the German shell arcs, it's very difficult with the 152s. And like boats like the Nuremberg can arc over, and the Weimar can, but the Mainz is a bit more of a different beast in that regard.
Dave
Sorry.
Frintrock says there are no made-up ships. There are some that are amalgamation of all sort of designs, and some that are modernised versions of ships that weren't completed and planned. That's as close as you get. I don't know, like half of the Russian ships I think are completely made up.
Yeah, probably. I agree with you. Armor,
the
the armor
vast
in the
majority.
Mainz is really important. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
only issue
you
them-
can do shit in the mains that the Weimar could only dream about, but then you can't sit behind an island and farm a couple of dumb battleships that are just going to keep on sailing towards you. And
only
you can't
issue-
do that in a mines. You can do that in a Weimar. So they've got enough of a difference in their playstyle that it's okay
Weimar
that they share the tier.
If Weimar gets a heal, then I feel Mainz and Weimar are too similar. I know they have the different shell arc, and Mainz has better AP, by the way. We didn't know that. It has better AP penetration than the Weimar does.
Yes, it does.
And you know the shell
That's
arc
because of the
difference
shell
as well.
velocity.
Yeah, probably just a result of that, yeah. But I don't know. I do not know. I think if Weimar gets a heal, then it's basically become a Mainz with the less armor, but greater DPM.
So, Alcohol says,
Almost,
Yami doesn't feel consistent ever since that dispersion nerf.
Yeah,
it has good
I
aim
agree.
every 1 out of 4 shots, but the GK and every other ship will punch the other ships more often. GK loves punching ships at weird angles. So the GK, for people who don't know, there's a thing called sigma value. So it's an elliptical shape around your aiming reticle, basically. So say this is my aiming reticle. Sorry for the crappy attempt using a pen. So basically you have an ellipse around it, and that's your sigma value. So this is a bit complicated to explain. So we've got accuracy
Imagine the carrier bomb
and
drop.
dispersion. So
Yeah, bomb drop.
accuracy is how close all your shots will stay within that sigma value. Like how close they'll be together, and dispersion is where within that elliptical shape the shells will drop.
I have the precise thing. Sigma refers to the likelihood that the shell will be closer to the center of the dispersion area.
Yeah,
The higher the
so-
sigma, the better.
Yeah, so sigma is the elliptical
Higher than
shape around. So that the lower your sigma value, the more chance you've got
No,
of
the
hitting
higher.
your target.
The higher the sigma value.
Isn't
It's
it?
the dispersion is the. I've got the graph here. Dispersion refers to the maximum distance. So that's how big the elliptical circle is. The
yeah.
smaller the dispersion, the better. The sigma is the likelihood that the shell will be closer to the center of the area. So basically, sigma refers to how likely your shells will actually hit the center of your point, and the sigma dispersion is how far they can disperse. The only reason I know this is because I'm looking at it right now.
Fair enough. In all
Yeah.
fairness, it is quite confusing because there's a lot of different components to it. But basically, the better your sigma really is your true accuracy stat. So the better your sigma value is, the more likely you are to hit. And GK has the best sigma value out of all of the legendary battleships.
Except Montana. Montana's got better.
Montana doesn't, does it?
And Montana has the new best Sigma. It's got better Sigma than GK.
Oh, well, I was so it's second best. And Yamato Sigma value is dog shit.
Yamato Sigma value was okay, and then they nerfed it, and it's become pretty darn piss poor. The thing about the Yamato that everyone
The
seems
Yamato
to forget,
needed the nerf,
burns.
but the nerf has fucked it up.
I think the nerf has been a bit too severe, in my opinion. But hey, I understand people think overmatching 32 is overpowered, but you got to remember the Yamato was.
You're going to say the Yamato burns, doesn't it?
The Yamato burns like a.
Did you know? So I've investigated this extensively.
Oh, I'm interested. Yeah,
so all ships have a base fire resistance. Yamato has the highest base resistance to fires. So Yamato.
Are you sure about the compared to GK?
It's
Montana.
It has the highest base resistance from them all. We can because I have asked these questions.
Because I feel it burns like an absolute crazy man. If it burns very well and the heals are not really that great, it really gets melted by HE. I feel because that's just me from playing. Regardless of what you're. I'm interested in the stuff though. Because Hive, if you guys don't know, Hive made a post on Reddit, and he covered extensively how HE is a very strong ammunition type, basically.
It is.
And it's worth checking out.
It's ridiculous. I am going to make a video on it, but I don't know how to do it, to be honest with you. So essentially, look, so these are correct. The tiers are slightly different. The tiers are all shifted down one for us, but I have confirmed this with Blip. And so you see these like so tier 1 to 3 ships, which is our tiers 1 and 2, have a 1% base fire chance resistance. So basically what that means is they have none whatsoever. Tier 10 ships or our legendary ships have a 0.5% base fire chance resistance. So what this means is, so when you fire your Worcester, which has a 17% fire chance at a tier 10 ship, you haven't actually got a 17% fire chance. You cut that in half, and that's your fire resistant chance. There's a whole bunch of really complicated mathematics around it. But
let's just say
here somewhere.
Simple.
The
example of this is like, say you've got a 10% fire chance on your HE shells, and you fire at the said target, and the target has a 0.5% resistance to HE, or a fire, sorry. That means your true fire chance is actually 5%, not 10%. That's an example there.
Yeah. So which can make it quite confusing. And where was it? It wasn't on you.
You should just go to your Reddit post.
I should just go to my Reddit post, shouldn't I?
I need to add all this. I haven't covered fire effects in my own wee things, because I have a on my own Discord. I've got the in-depth mechanics written in as much layman terms of it as I can, because it's a very complicated game if you get into it. But I've covered torpedo protection, I've covered SAP, how detection, how it works, and shell penetration characteristics. I haven't covered fire though. I've done a lot of stuff, but I haven't covered fire.
Yeah. So this is my extensive 11, well, just shy of 12,000 views on Reddit, which apparently is absolutely insane for a Reddit post.
Yes.
On Legends.
Just to answer your question, Doug, some of the stats are the same, some of them aren't. You need to be careful and ask. But not all the stats are the same for Legends and console. Like, for example, Azuma, I had to find out the hard way. Azuma Pain was nerfed.
So I have them updated here. So for ours, they are slightly different. So legendary tier is 0.6004. So basically, that's a 40% fire reduction. But Yamato's is 5.3 or 0.53. So Yamato has a 47% base resistance to fire chance. So it's...
Hold on. You
It's
said 0.6 is legendary.
Yeah, our legendary is 0.6004 base fire chance resistance.
Okay. But isn't that less than? Isn't that more than Yamato's?
No. Why? Because it's a multiplier. Okay, so to calculate the true fire chance, it's the fire chance of the ship. So it goes from, it's calculated from the ship that's firing the HE. So you've got your base fire chance rate with all of your buffs. Yeah, so in this example here, is 17. Then it's times by, because I can't remember what ships I was looking at particularly here. But this is obviously a tier 7. Then that is times by the base resistance, which is, or the ship's resistance, which in this case, I've done the most basic. So, so fire chance against the tier 7 hull A, tier 7 hull B. So if you've got a 17%, if you've got a 17% fire chance on your Cleveland, for example, and you're firing at an Iowa with the stock hull, you've got a 11% chance of causing a fire. If you're firing at the B hull, which has 6.33 base fire resistance, it drops that to 10.7. So when you're firing at a Yamato, you times whatever your fire chance is by 0.53, and that gives you...
Okay, so the lower the number.
The lower the number, the higher the resistance. And as you see, I get into the complications of the maths, and I start explaining like all of the different like if I'll make a video on it, but if you want to read it, pop over on Reddit and
what's the one for Yamato? Where's the Yamato one on it? Do you have the Yamato one?
Yeah, Yamato. I've got the Yamato written down because I asked Blip about it, and the Yamato's is 0.5300. So the Yamato
and he confirmed it's the best?
Yeah, so Yamato has the highest base fire chance resistance. So it's the hardest ship to set on fire. But essentially, I get down into it, and you can actually calculate your percentage chance per salvo of like setting a fire, how long it will take me to set a fire. I believe I'm using the Worcester for this. So a maxed out for fire chance Worcester versus say the Montana. I think I've done it against the Montana, fighting the Montana that's using what's the one that gives you less fire resistance? Flammable cannoneer. Two salvos should set a fire, which is 8 seconds. And
so when you're working with probability, are you doing it? Let me see. Are you doing it are you doing it the right way? Because there's a way to work at probability.
So basically, what I'm calculating is, so these are like stock ships versus stock ships, max versus stock, max versus min. So that's like using flammable cannoneer. That's not using flammable cannoneer. Max versus max would be all of the anti-fire things that you can add to a commander. I think Optimus Prime was like the best one I found. And basically, if it's over 90% chance of causing fire, I'm saying that's a fire. Because statistically, that's what you'll never get 100%. It's impossible to get 100%. But so, if for example in this situation here, if you've got a Worcester set up purely to cause fires, which they all are, let's be honest, like you're stupid if you're not, versus a maxed out Montana with everything it could possibly have to reduce fires, basically you're saving yourself a salvo, like one extra salvo pretty much guarantees a fire.
And you think the Yamato's got the best fire resistance? It still doesn't make much of a difference, though.
No, it doesn't. There's a 7%. It has 7% greater base resistance.
Which means nothing. in the long run.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you're gonna make me pull up my spreadsheet now. We're supposed to be talking about tier rating SAP. Why did we get onto HE?
Yeah, oh, you got into the topic. This was all you.
I didn't bring up. I didn't bring up fire chance.
We brought up the mains, and I don't know how we went from the mains to the Weimar and then to the Yamato somehow. It was the chat.
Oh yeah, we were talking about the Yamato, and you said the Yamato burns easy. I was like, no, it doesn't actually. It's the hardest one to set on fire by
Still burns easy.
by 7%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually the hard hashtag blame.
It still burns very well though.
Hashtag monk
It just-
stuff.
Yeah,
but also explain like this is the most interesting thing about HE. So a single fire, if it burns on a Montana, because fire damage isn't like, it's not a set amount, it's a percentage of your target's hit points. And it's 0.3% total hit points per second. So if you can set 3 fires on a Montana and they burn for the full 60 seconds, that's 46, well, just shy of 47,000 damage.
And I remember flooding as well. Flooding lasts for like a minute and something. Flooding is ridiculous as well. At the same time,
Flooding has the same rate.
Flooding.
Flooding has the same rate, which is 0.3% per second, but it lasts for longer. But you've also got the initial damage.
Also, it slows your ship down as well.
Just like a ship that has a 21% chance of starting a fire, yet it hits you with 1 shell, and you've got. Well, that's the thing. It's probability. There's chance. So for like battleship players, like, you know, it's happened to me when playing a battleship. I've just put out 3 fucking fires, because you never put out a fire because that's stupid. You wait till you get 2 or 3. You put out a fire, and then the next salvo you get hit with, you get set on another 2 fires. It's chance. But when you run things like flammable cannoneer, you're increasing that chance. So basically my post was, this whole investigation was like whether it's actually worth building against HE. And basically it's not. It's freaking pointless, because it makes so little difference to the percentage chance of you actually not catching fire, because it's really dodgy the way it works out. So it's like prime, not 1 for nuisance, gives you -8%. Fire with fire gives you -15. Put Beeply on for a -8. Put shear on for -5%. Gives you a 33% reduction in fire resistance. So you multiply your fire resistance by the ship's base fire resistance. And all right, okay, you'll take a Worcester's fire chance from 17% down to 6.3%, but then it's 6.3% per shell that they fire, and by the time you do the calculation to formulate the fire chance per salvo, so a completely maxed out anti-fire build, you still have a 55% chance of being set on fire, as opposed to 77. But you just get hit so often, it's pointless. You're better off using damage module on the second slot, definitely. HE is king. Cosmo said HE is ridiculously overpowered. It's almost broken.
Possible to get 1 shell for double fire?
No, that's impossible.
Okay.
You also do, if you're looking to set multiple fires, there is actually a mechanic in the game. Can I get a picture of a ship up?
I told you this before. You were saying no, but like I knew. You have to hit different parts of the ship.
You do. So to set a fire on the rear of a ship, you have to hit the rear. You can set 2 fires in the middle section and 1 on the front for a maximum of 4. But say you keep on hitting the middle, you've set 2 fires on the middle of the ship. If you keep on hitting the middle of the ship, you're never going to set another fire. You have to actively aim for the front or the rear to get another one.
And this conversation kind of brings in to the main topic of what you're talking about, comparing HE to SAP.
Yes.
As things are, HE is still more powerful than SAP on the Italian cruisers, as things currently are, I think.
100%. 100% that HE
I don't
is...
think that I don't know why they're so terrified of SAP where HE is the way it is right now.
Yes, I think this... because the way they worded it in the update was like, oh my god, this SAP is going to be absolutely disgusting. And I don't know, does everyone know how SAP works?
I think it's a good idea to explain it.
Why?
I could explain it, but then I would be taking over this thing, and how do I do that?
Feel free to correct me if I fuck this up.
Okay,
but SAP essentially works in exactly the same way as HE. So SAP doesn't care about... so with an armor piercing, we have to worry about what angle we're hitting a ship at. We know if we're shooting at a bow tank in Yamato, we're not going to do jack shit. But if a Yamato is broadside, we can penetrate their armor with AP. Yeah, so if it's bow tanking, you just use HE, otherwise you're wasting your time. But that's purely to set fires. SAP doesn't care about the angle of your armor. Does not give a shit.
It doesn't. It does. You can bounce shells.
The auto bounce angles are what, like 11 degrees?
Yeah.
As opposed to like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
So
the angle is almost impossible to bounce, but you can bounce SAP shells. It has that slight similarity to AP, but I do agree it's pretty much unbounceable, but it does bounce. Just be aware of that. It does bounce.
Yeah, but we're talking like such incredibly extreme angles. There's no point in considering SAP bouncing because it doesn't really happen. If it's thick enough to penetrate the armor, unless it's at like a crazy angle, like 11, 12 degrees. If it can penetrate, it will penetrate and it will cause damage. But if it doesn't...
either bounce, shatter, or pen. Doesn't overpower.
Yeah. If it bounces, you do nothing. If it shatters, it does nothing. If it ricochets, which is extremely rare, it does nothing. Whereas with HE, in all those scenarios, you've got a chance of setting a fire.
Except to ricochet. How would you can't ricochet with HE though? You can only shatter and pen with HE.
Yeah, you can't ricochet HE.
Even a shatter of HE can set a fire. Whereas SAP, it does nothing. A bounce and a shatter does nothing with SAP. A pen is what you want to... A pen.
SAP isn't the same as in PC. It needs a bit of... It feels like it needs a bit of a buff for it to be fightable.
SAP's broken right now. It's not working properly right now, though. Because it's saturating after one hit.
Is it saturating after one? I have noticed ships going, sections going dark real quick. But we haven't got training rooms to test it properly.
It doesn't go dark, though. We were testing it on my stream when we tested the update. I used Goretzka. Goretzka is a prime example because it's got the highest SAP alpha that we currently have at 5,050. And you land 6 shells with the alpha of a pen damage, which is 33% of the Citadel, is 10k, basically. It's 9.999. So basically 10k. You land the first salvo, you get about 10k. That's great. You fire another salvo, you get nothing near that. It just drops suddenly massively. The saturation is a big problem with that, as things currently are. And this is a highlighted problem. I've seen it happen, and to the point where I've had to report it myself. And thankfully, Robin's noticed it. Sailing Robin in the stream apparently also noticed it as well. I can definitely see the saturation's bad. I saw on Zarkun's stream, he had a Nagato that was 2k off full health, and he wasn't getting the full SAP pen damage of a ship that was basically still haven't been touched.
That's weird. Yeah, yesterday Robin got 7 pens on Atlanta with like 200 HP left, and it didn't kill him.
Yeah, that's, on my stream, you saw pens with no damage.
That's fucking dumb. Yeah, and maybe that's why I've played with it a little bit, not too much, because I've been a busy boy, and it's just been shockingly bad. And I'm like you'll get a couple of good salvos, and then the same thing. The damage just dies right off.
But the saturation is just so extreme, and this is something I think they should do with HE. The saturation for HE is way too low. It saturates it doesn't saturate. I don't feel it saturates fast enough with HE in comparison, obviously.
Yeah, I guess the difference is with HE though. It's the fire. Is the fire damage more than the actual pen damage?
EOP is a prime example of this. EOP was again, you're guaranteed damage per salvo. I did the math as well on a Kutuzov. If you land like out of 20 shells, you land 16 or something. You're doing 10k every 16 shells, and that's not that many shells on a.
Well, according to Robin yesterday, he said it was too powerful when he wrecked my Miyoko. I think that's the thing though. It's that first salvo.
First salvo
does huge damage, and then everything after that is rubbish.
Yeah.
So if you get enough damage that you absolutely wreck someone in the first salvo or dev strike them, great. It's game over, but then your subsequent shells. Actually, I noticed this playing the Duca de Costa earlier, whereas I hit a Gnevny. I think my first salvo done like 3 or 4k, and then my subsequent salvos were doing like 700-800.
Oh, really? With a Gnevny? I thought the rule was more the issue, saturation's issue. Was
I should have saved it because I was just dicking around, and I was like, this damage seems really shit. So I think I've obviously saturated him with that first salvo, and then
Dave Finlop saying, "Yeah, you're saying." I interrupted you.
And yeah, the subsequent ones were shit. Italian HE flat out sucks. It does, but it's better than the SAP at the moment.
Italian HE is almost very similar to Japanese HE because they have a very similar sort of HE. They have the similar alpha. The Italian HE hits really hard. It's got a very high alpha. It's the fire chance you're really worried about. But at the same time, yeah, the HE on the Italians is actually not bad. It's just
it's the fire chance, which kind of makes it shit, though, doesn't it?
Well,
if you've got good fire chance with HE, brilliant. If you've got bad fire chance with HE, it's almost pointless using it.
I think it's very similar, though. I think Aolatico really skews it, though. That commander changes alone, it changes the meta.
I'm glad they did bring that back, because that's broken as fuck.
But no, yeah, the SAP right now, it saturates way too quickly, and if they address that, hopefully they address that. We'll have to see, but even with that, though, I don't know if it's stronger than HE, you know?
Well, it will be a lot stronger than HE, because if you're getting a 10k salvo, followed by another 10k salvo, followed by another 10k salvo, like, HE and fire damage isn't going to mean jack.
Or will it, though? Because if you get...
Dave is right with the Italians not having, like... That's the big problem with the Italian cruisers. You really do struggle to kill DDs.
Low damage, period. The HE is the highest alpha of all the cruisers. It's the highest HE alpha of all the cruisers. The reload's not great, no, but that's got the highest HE alpha. It's on par with the Japanese HE, which is the best in terms of raw alpha.
And that is true, Luke, in saying alpha does mean crap if you can't pen it. Which is very true.
Yeah, but you've got big guns of the Italians. You've got 2 or 3s, so yeah, you can pen it. 2 or 3s pens everything you want to pen, you know. Unless you're going about past 32, and DDs don't have 32; they have 19 at best. Unless you go Khabarovsk, of course, or Paolo Emilio.
But I've struggled killing DDs with the Italian cruisers. The Duca de Costa seems to deal with them really nicely. The Abruzzi and the Gorizia just... Yeah. It's almost not worth shooting at a DD, which kind of sucks, because you should always be shooting at DDs.
It's mostly because of the reload, though. I don't have an issue with it, but I think it's just the reload that you're struggling with. If you miss that one shot, then both is done. But I don't know, you shouldn't be getting shatters in 2 or 3s. Against almost any ship, even tier 7 bows, you can pen with Italian HE TO3s. You know, with HE, you just don't do it.
Yeah, Dave's saying the 8-inch guns are good, but the 6-inch ones are shite.
What 6-inch guns do we have? Is it lower tier Italians? Because they're pretty, yeah.
What's the Abruzzi have?
The Abruzzi's got 203, I think. I think it's the Duca's the 152s.
Oh, mind
I
you,
just
say
got
that,
them.
I only ever seem to think about the premium cruisers because I don't really play the Italian cruisers full
The
stop.
Trento, the Trento's 203. It's the Monte has the low tier. The Trento and the Zara both have 203s, and the Amalfi's got 203. It's the Abruzzi's 152. Okay, I don't know these chips too well. I don't know. I didn't have those premiums until recently.
Abruzzi is 6-inch. Abruzzi is 152s.
So is it the Duca of the 203s then, or the Duca's got low caliber as well?
Ducas are 152s, I think. I'm not saying. I love the Duca, by the way. Like the Duca di Costa, I fucking love that ship. That is the one Italian cruiser I play the crap out of. 155 is 6.1. So yeah, so I'm guessing when you get to the Zara and stuff, the HE is okay. Honestly, I've not played them enough to.
The tier 5.
If I'm playing a cruiser, I'm playing a British cruiser or I'm playing an American cruiser. Like, no disrespect to other ones. It's just those are the ones I like playing.
I don't understand if people saying the Duca is overpowered with SAP. I don't see it. I'm trying it. I don't see it. Like, I had a game and it was SAP and I got 82,000. Yeah, but we lost the game because I was too busy trying to fart around with
I've had a
SAP.
couple of people say it's really good on the Duca, so maybe it's the 203s the SAP has the issues with. I only played the Duca for one match earlier today. I might give it a second look tomorrow.
Maybe. Yeah. We could do a thing where we hit it once with SAP and then we hit it twice and we see the damage number difference.
Mr. Monk, what are you doing tomorrow?
What's the time? What day is it tomorrow? I'm fine tomorrow. Yeah.
We'll catch up with each other tomorrow. Because we've both got the ships. We'll take out the Duca. We'll take out we'll play a handful of games with me running SAP and you running HE and then me running SAP. And swap around. And we'll pick the Duca. We'll do the Abruzzi and the Gorizia, and then we'll see sort of. We'll get some.
Run the same commanders as well.
Yeah, run the same commanders, run the same builds.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Possibly shoot if we can shoot at the same target and see what a salvo from the HE and a salvo from the SAP does. And
I think the HE will still win, but we'll have to see. That's my guess, early guess. But we'll see.
Duca will full have Dev strike a DD without trying. Right, so I've had that happen in the Duca because I hit a Fubuki. I Dev struck a Fubuki with SAP, but then a Gnevny, I hit him with my first salvo, done like 4k, and then every salvo after that was dog shit. And it took me like 30 seconds to kill the little shit bag. So
You can also dead strike a destroyer of HE as well. Just want to highlight that. You can also do that. I agree, SAP is better though.
you can. We'll dick around with that tomorrow. That sounds like a date. Got a date with a monk. Reminds me of being a 12-year-old choir boy all over again.
Yeah, no, the SAP is great for destroyers, but
Sorry, painful memories coming back.
Oh god. Why did you do that? Oh.
Oh, come on, it's not even like they're trying to cover it up anymore. Apologies. That was...
Sir, we're on YouTube, sir, be careful. Anyway,
But right, in all fairness, I told my wife, I'll be honest, we'll fess up. I knew that Tier 8 teaser video 2 was coming out. I hadn't seen it, but we knew it was coming. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be like half an hour at the most. This is an hour and a half later. See, this is what happens when we talk. We have good conversation. Jesus Christ, people are sticking around. There's like, 41 people watching now? It's freaking insane.
yeah, it's good. No, it's good, but
So I
again,
think...
we continue another time.
I think we should definitely do this again. Part of the podcast kind of series I wanted to invite a couple of CCs. Want to get a couple of just regular players as well, people that aren't like, you know, that. So it's not just CCs going like, oh, this, that,
Yeah,
that. We want
the whole thing.
regular players in as well. So again, the Discord is the pinned comment in my live chat. I will pin it to the video, which will obviously reappear once I end this stream. So if you're interested in having conversations, because what we all know, there's problems with the game. In all fairness, I probably get a bit of flack because I'm not that critical of wargaming. There's definitely issues, but screaming about them every 5 minutes, and yeah, some people, like if you read the feedback in the official Discord, it's like how some people provide their feedback. I think it's just shit. It's like if someone,
you can't be the
it'd be like
you gotta do
like how you give criticism is more important than your criticism. It's like if I turn around to Monk, me and Monk are playing now, yeah, and granted I do this to him all the time, I call him shit. He's not. Monk's a great player, by the way. But if I go, Monk, you fucking shit, what's your reaction to that going to be, Monk? You should have shot the Iowa instead of the Yamato.
I'd just rather shoot the Iowa again, you know?
Yeah.
I would just do it again, because I would be like, well, screw you then. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
What if you said,
exactly.
you know, hi, you the lovely darling, you know, why didn't you shoot the Yamato? We're like, no problem.
Your instant response is fuck you if someone gives you shitty criticism. Whereas if I go, oh, Monk, that Iowa is broadside, you should have shot him. Your next salvo is going to go towards that Iowa's broadside.
100%.
Because you've noticed, and because I've given it to you in a manner that's like appropriate. Like, yeah.
There's a thing called constructive criticism, and in order to get people to get to listen to what you're saying, I 100% agree with it. Like, constructive, you got to be constructive about it. You got to provide the good and the bad, you know?
So my plan is
we're
going to get regular players in, get some CCs in as well. Lurking Gherkin's already said he's down for it, so that's good. More than welcome. You're more than happy for you to join us. And we'll essentially do a couple over a couple of weeks, and then we'll see if we can get the community managers in, and then even so we can tug a couple of strings. We might even be able to get a dev in and actually talk to a dev about the issues with the game, and provide the feedback in a constructive way, and then hopefully that will mean, you know, maybe the core issues that everyone can agree on will get solved.
Just one more highlight there as well. I did this thing a year ago. I did this whole community quality of life feedback thing where I wrote down 40 points, okay, that the community I gathered for myself. I asked around in Discord and asked the people what they'd want to see as a quality of life change. Didn't mess around with balancing factors, that's too complicated, that's too controversial. Quality of life changes. These are 40 points. And I did this I wasn't a CC at the time. I did this, I got a response from Wargaming, and I got 4 answers for every single one of those 40 points. I did that in a constructive way, and look what it got me. You know?
Randy's saying constructive criticism can still trigger people. Well, fuck you, Randy. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I know what you mean. But when we're talking like, you know, a business like Wargaming, we should be able to give it to them in a way that that shouldn't trigger them. If constructive criticism triggers folks, they shouldn't be playing video games. They shouldn't be playing online video games. But I can hear my daughter. She's having a bit of a meltdown in the background. I've run over way longer than I thought I was going to do. What's your thoughts on Tier 8? Rewind this to the beginning. We spent a bunch of time talking about Tier 8 at the start. Then we went on to SAP and HE and all sorts. I'd love to talk about it again, but I just haven't got time. But thank you, Mr. Monk, for joining us. I think we might make you a regular on what is now dubbed the Davy Jones Shipyard with the Hive. I think Lurkin said he'll join in. Mike said he'll join in. So next time we'll have a couple more people in as well, and we can have some good discussions about, because as much as we hate aspects of the game, we all love it and we all want to get the best out of it. So you know, together, maybe, just maybe, we can get shit done. So thank you very much for everyone who stopped by. Monk, don't forget to slap your your channel in the description. If you don't know who the monk is, get out from underneath that rock and go over and subscribe. But on that bombshell, I'm going to call it a day. So thank you very much for stopping by, and of course, as always, until next time, take care.
So you want me to do? I don't know. I don't know what you want. Yep, no worries, man. I'll see you next time. Good. Yeah, I like that. It's good. Good discussion. Farewell.